little northwest to southeast bus, so cutting right through the center of the map. Should be a quite simple one as we get to see the distribution of players. Now, I'm going to be honing in on Frenzy Fields here, man. This is the fight, potential fight, I should say, that we could see going down.
Yeah, I think Mega City actually has a lot of action early on because they have 4 teams landing there. And it is a big POI, but, you know, it can only be so big for so many teams. 8 people in 1 POI, they're bound to run into each other sooner or later.
Yeah, and of course, we do have the extra points tomorrow as well, so the teams that haven't quite done as well today, they've got one more day, one more chance for it to happen. And I'm looking over at Frenzy Fields right now. It looks as though there is 2 teams landing in that vicinity. So if my name's Cammy and or Japko, I'll be very, very worried about what's going on there. But of course, a place that is no stranger to action this weekend. It's been brutal. Bastion. So now we have 3 teams here.
Yeah,
Sansom and Smicky, of course.
Yamzo and Paper going down early as the first duo down. You don't like to see it. And already action in Mega City. Epic Whale looking for the push. They're pushing Arrow in 500k. They're going in 500k, 1 HP. Oh, he got him knocked. Arrow holding the right hand peak. Acorn has to be careful. He doesn't have HP. He doesn't have any extra shields, but he does know where Arrow is because of the flare gun that gives off his position. And he went all the way up. If they take that zipline, will he? Oh, we got Arrow all the way on height. And his teammate is already down. Pablo going down as well in the feed as well. Whale, Arrow being chased by Epic Whale, and he's out of there. He took the shockwave and he's gone.
Yeah, we've seen how aggressive Epic Whale has been here at Mega City. It's his home, his place that he likes to reside, and his place that he likes to own. Of course, we saw the aggression with Reet in the previous seasons of FNCS, and with Acorn, it's absolutely no different, picking up an early elimination and looking for more as well. They want to try and claim as much of this loot as humanly possible. As you can see them now making their way through all of the buildings, and we spoke about it on the desk a little bit earlier on. These guys are able just to carry so much loot into that late game, and I think a lot of it is down to this drop spot here.
Yeah,
here we go.
We have a review on Thomas HD, getting the Elim on Bevs, Malibuka, and they have really good loot so far with a car as well. That is important. That's really important.
Really great stuff right there from Thomas HG and Malibuka. They actually did that to win DreamHack Summer in that exact same way. But Verse and Quinn, they're getting aggressive right now as it's Smicky and Saturn. Unfortunately now down to just Smicky as he managed to escape just about with his life. As we know the aim of Vert and Quinn, we know how solid these guys can be when it comes to those sort of area. And this is what I wanted to hone in on. Cammy and Japko alive, healthy, well for now, as Kika and his teammate are off in the distance. And it looks as though it's a little bit of a different change of pace for Cammy and Japko, contrary to that game 5 or game 11 that we just saw last.
Yeah, it looks like they don't want to engage the fight. They just want to, you know, throw off a few shots. They don't want to, you know, just take that 50-50 off the spawn. So they're just backing up the drone shots. They're like, hey, do not come near us. We're not afraid to fight, but we would rather not fight. You know, we want to save our loot for end game rather than use it early game. Maybe get third partied. It's just not a good spot to fight early game.
Yeah, it's so open there as well. So Kika and company, they retreat back to the safety of this building, dropping that DMR. I was quite confused as to why he was carrying that DMR because it's not the best weapon in the game. I think I won't be the first to say that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever used that already in the tournament so far. But, you know, when you don't have any loot, you might as well carry it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Another team that we've been talking about a lot over the weekend. It's Queasy and Veno. It's all one of the early stages of the game. We haven't got to see this too much from them. And every single aspect of their game is perfected down to a T. They know timings, they know where to be, and that's why they're so confident to be split from each other. They're not standing hip to hip, worried about who can rotate in on them because they know what's around. And Wox and Robab right now, around them is another team that's just trying to make their way away with the shockwave. Oh, Wox trying to close in as well. This is one of those teams that are so aggressive when it comes to fighting. Wox particularly one of the best fighters on the European region, and the Swedes do it best when it comes to fighting, it seems, as we head over to Mega City. As Acorn and Epic Whale, they're still on the hunt for Arrow, and he's still somehow survived.
Yeah, I don't know how he got away, but they've been non-stop chasing him since the beginning of the match. He's trying to get out of there. He's getting in the car. Broken shields. It looks like they're going to take the car out, but Arrow taking the advantage of the of the terrain. You can't shoot through those walls, and Epic Whale can't get through the window. But we got Ennis and Pink on the high ground, also shooting at Arrow. Arrow is just like, please, everyone leave me alone. Can I just breathe for 1 second?
Yeah, he can't catch a break, can he? But I like this position from Pink and Anas as we see the next zone reveal itself down towards that southeast side of the map. So A lot of the teams that will be playing the Storm sort of area. Of course, we know the Vortexes and Axe Force will be all the way up there in Breakwater Bay. I'm sure they're no stranger to a far zone. And Arrow, how are you still in the game?
He's literally been running for so long. Please. Oh no, not the launch pad. Acorn, about to hit his shots. Oh, Arrow spinning in circles.
Oh my goodness.
He is untouchable. Another team looking at him as no. And
so
Arrow
close.
finally goes down. Man, Threat's getting his first elimination of the game. That was hilarious. He's been running for so long, and I feel bad because I was rooting for him. I just wanted him to get away. I always Zemi going down in the feed as well. Man, bad sniper. Squeeze looking at Bloomer and Lard just chilling. They're about to 3-2-1 them. This is when they count down. When the duo is waiting for their opponent to be in the open spot, they say 3-2-1, and then at 1 they both spray at the same time, and he usually gets elimination right away. It's a really good tactic that pro players use all the time.
Yeah, it really is. And for Bloomy and Lada, these guys haven't quite had the best day compared to yesterday. They've only had the 6th place as their best game overall. Maybe the 2nd place as well from one of their games is not going to be too bad, but
yeah,
this is one of those teams that can have pop-up potential. I think not enough people talk about the mental side of Bloomy. He's such a fantastic zero-build IGL. He knows the game so well. And I was actually speaking to Ben K in the back. He was actually playing with Reddish recently in one of the DreamHack Zero Build events, and he said that Bloomy actually came over and helped coach them.
Oh, what?
And Ben was like, this guy is an absolute genius. He said, rotate here, rotate there, rotate over there. And he did it every time. He listened, and it pulled off for them. So excited to see Bloomy in action, of course, throughout this weekend.
It looks like Duke and Clicks got an elimination in Mega City. How did they get here? Blanca being on Duke's shoulder, and this is what pros usually do. When they get a knock, they take the loot to a safer spot. You see, now they're in an enclosed space. They can take their time. They can take their time to loot, and maybe even come back later for extra meds that was like on the loot that they just got the elimination from.
What's the vehicle doing inside of the building there? That's quite an interesting one. It's a little bit of
Actually, they usually hide, especially in zero builds, they hide the vehicle inside of the building.
I like it.
Just so it doesn't get tagged, because pro players, they actually plan ahead. They actually shoot at the vehicles before, if they know they're not going to use it themselves, they always get rid of it. They want it to be as hard as possible for other players to take that vehicle and rotate in zone.
Cybertron cannons going crazy as well. We're seeing so many teams using those throughout the weekend, and it's something that I expect to see even more of in this game as we get to take a little look at where the next zone will be heading. It's another southeast pull, so even more bad news for those that have that longer rotation. But fantastic news for the likes of Queasy, Venno, of course, Mr. Savage, Vadil, who do find themselves on that less congested side. And that's such an important aspect, isn't it, Ema? When you talk about rotations into zone, in zero build, is that almost amplified, being on that less congested, that dead side of zone? Yeah,
it's one of the greatest things that can happen to you, because we actually saw them win one of the matches today, and the zone ended naughty, right where they landed. So when the zone ends there, they don't have to use mobility, they don't get sprayed at in the car running away. You know, they can just take their time, they be patient, they wait for the zones, they have the best spot possible, and try to get as elevated as you can on the high ground, and then when it's endgame, that's when they use all their loot and all their mobility.
Beautiful. It's exactly what we want to see. Teams making their way into the zone. Of course, Vortex Axe Force, they had an extra long rotate, made even longer by the next pull as Opt and Fluger making their way in, using these rifts, of course, as well. The sort of new area of the map has plenty of them, so they're making the most of those, or as much of the use as they can without getting beamed out of the air.
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about here, just hiding away the vehicle, making sure that nobody knows where it is. And especially when you have these chonkers tires on it, as we can see that Sizzlucky and Dejan in front of them also do, it just allows you to traverse the map so much quicker.
Yeah, especially going through like the muddy parts and in the grass fields. It's hard with regular tires, so if you got a vehicle with those monster truck tires, it's much easier to get around, and it's definitely a lot bouncier, so it's gonna be harder to aim. But Dejan and Sizzlucky getting caught in a bad position here. Agers and Kanata, they're definitely an aggressive duo. They gotta be careful, and they have the explosive repeater rifle. He's trying to use it to his advantage. They launched out of there, and they got away successfully. I don't think they're gonna chase. It's a little bit too far for them now. Sizzlucky coming back though. Ooh. Wait, he's going for the slurp truck. He's taking the risk. I don't think that was a good thing to do, but he has more shockwaves. He's getting out of there, and he's gone.
And he's gone, but I'm sure Agers and Kanata will not be letting them go. without a fight as Dijon tries to reposition, re-angle, and get another shot from afar. As now this is where Dijon and his teammate Sizlucky are split, but Cease and Blake say goodbye to their last game of the day as Triple and Quanti take them out all the way down here at Slappy Shores. So great stuff from this team. Quanti getting both of the credit for those, and Tayson and Seti, they'll be lurking. They would have heard those audio cues. There's fighting going on the south side. Let's go on through. As you get to see some of the crowd in attendance as well. Lots of Falcon fans that were cheering earlier on, of course, as well. It's always great to see.
Yeah, it's great to see them, you know, talking to each other, smiling, cheering on, making it more intense for the players. And as you saw, Tripper, as soon as Tripper got the elimination, he actually didn't go to loot. He actually threw out the flare gun to see if there was anybody rushing them, because after eliminations, people usually come up to clean up and take all the loot.
Yeah,
but Gentle,
big fight.
Yeah, Gentle in the bad spot here. Dark getting pushed right now by Squeeze and Bad Sniper.
Big fights right now as Gentle and Dark. This is one of our top teams on the day, of course. Second place going into this game, so this is such an important fight for them. Crucial moments going into this. So absolutely vital stuff. I think they may have even been closer towards the first place spot, so it's one of those teams that have to make it happen. And Japco and Cami, another one, of course. Bloomy going down to Japco.
Yeah.
So these guys have all the answers, of course. The first place team in Cami and Japco, we know how important this game is to them. And if Dark and his teammate Gentle can clutch up, then they should be okay.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're going to win this 2v2. And they did. Lardle and Bloomer down to Japco and Cami. Japco's aim is just out of this world. I haven't seen him miss a shot yet. It's really impressive. Yeah. He's insane. Opt going down as well. It looks like people are going to fight a lot more here. I thought they were going to play more passive for the last game of the day, but it looks like they want to get those elimination points, and maybe they're just running into each other at a bad time and they have no choice but to fight.
Yeah, why not? You know, you have the last game of the day. Tomorrow the points are going to go up by another considerable amount, so I'm excited to see how our teams progress throughout the rest of the 6 games tomorrow. But of course now we have Mr. Savage and Vidil just making the most of that higher elevation, as Anas and Pink are also down low, so they're feeling pretty good right now. They have that vehicle, and it seems that this vehicle, the speedy one, seems to be the one that's going to be most preferred. But actually say, you know what? We're going to go the old-fashioned way, running, on foot.
Yeah, so the speedy ones, the ones that look like they don't have the big tires on, it's hard to rotate through the grass, and on the hills you rotate so slow that it's actually easy to get caught in a bad position. So usually if it's not the truck with the monster tires, they just leave the car and rather go on foot, so because the vehicles are loud and it does attract a lot of attention. Yeah, absolutely. And we saw Dijon and Sizlucky just evading the attention of Canada and Aegis for now, but no, it's a game of chess. They're both waiting. Who's going to make the first move? Who's going to go first? Because whoever does might be able to find themselves eliminated. Yeah. The team in the back will look to spray that a little 3-2-1 as you talked about. It's so important in zero build, particularly when you have that gold MK assault rifle. This is packing a punch. Yeah, no, they're actually in a way better position than Sizlucky and Degen. Unless Degen and Sizlucky can't use that semi-truck, but it does cause a lot of commotion. I actually just saw a truck next to them. I'm not sure if they've seen it themselves, but Agers and Kanata have mobility and are ready to rotate. And you definitely don't want to take that motorbike because you are exposed and you do not want to be lasered right away. So I think they know that they're being waited out, so they're just waiting and they're just playing the patience game to see who moves first. Who's going to move first? Who's going to make the first mistake? That's what Zero Build is all about. As we have a little look at what happened with Anas and Pink earlier on. And of course, Anas picking up that elimination onto none other than Gentle. So that's a huge elimination in the race for that first place. Now, Dark has it all to do. Of course, we saw Gentle clutching up so well as a solo earlier on. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Yeah, it's really important. First place taking out second place. That is making the gap even more for the leaderboard. So it's really important, and it's a huge. I wouldn't be surprised if they saw it was Gentle. They got him knocked. They're like, we have to push him. They're right under us. We don't want them to take first place from us. Now we see Anderlecht now down as a solo. They played so well in DreamHack Sweden, picking up multiple victorials, and Wox gets beamed out of the air. It's Pink and Anas picking up another knock, which is going to turn into, hopefully for them, another elimination, as Robau has it all to do. Pink using that slurp juice inside of the storm just to try and keep himself alive for a little bit longer. They're going straight for the loot, though, of course.
They want to make sure they can get as much of this as possible. Looking quite good. And these are the sort of times when you need to be picking up eliminations if you're not set up for the end game, Emad, because once you pick up that refresh, once you pick up that loot, that's when you could be up for, on for a winner.
Yeah, and as you said, he was popping the slurp before he actually went for the loot because he doesn't know if there are other people around. And pre-popping slurps is a huge strat. Oh, Quanti, do not walk towards this bush. Zandy doing really well last game, and they were just absolutely hype after the match, which you'd love to see. But Quanti and Tripper have to be careful here because they are crouching around. You can see Refscard just waiting for them to come out of the zone. They're waiting for them. They're just waiting for the right time to take a double pump and get one of them down. And once they do, they're about to run into each other. Oh, they noticed. Oh.
Plays Ziandi getting inside, but of course Refscard now going down. Now Rizandi is all the way down to 1 HP, and unfortunately for him, he can't quite make it happen. Trippin, of course, getting knocked, but that was just a little bit of a difficult play for our game number 11 winners. Not ideal at all. You saw them get hyped after the game. Maybe it was a sloppy decision, a flash decision from these guys to jump on in there. They didn't have to. They had enough loot to win out the game, but as we get to see the map yet again, so many teams inside of the Storm. Very much what we've seen before, and the zone pulls back towards the north, so not many teams are in the Storm or in the zone already. So for those teams that are inside of the Storm on that north side, a nice rotate for them.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that they went for the elims. Even though they had enough loot, I think they just wanted to see if they can get those 30 extra points, because 15 points for elimination is huge. But it didn't end up going their way, and they got knocked out early. Trashy going down to Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage making the comeback really well. Like these past few games, he's been getting a lot of eliminations.
I like this from Taste Nassetti, a little bit of Cammy and Japko-esque play. Of course, we've seen them sort of realize that this NPC also heals you up with those chug splashes. So these guys are no longer a duo, they are in fact a trio. I'm excited to see how they can do. And wow, we see Gentle and S-Dot back together as a duo. Pinkin and Nas say, hang on a sec, why are they back together? We took one of those out earlier.
Yeah, it looks like he got him up in the Storm somewhere, and you know, you can use a Storm to your advantage, and sometimes it doesn't work out because there are other people just waiting there. But it looks like Gentle and them found a lot of heals, so they actually found a lot of med mist and the med kits as well, so they can live in Storm for a lot longer. They have to be aware of the Storm sickness though.
Absolutely huge. They've had such a great day today, and I'd argue that this is probably the most difficult position they've been in all day. And so far, they have had all of those questions answered. Now this is going to be one of the biggest questions in the final game of the day. Can they pop off? We will have to wait and see as Pinkin and Nas actually make their way into the dead side of zone, which is really nice for them. Not seeing bunkers on Nas, but it looks as though Pink has got himself covered with that. And now this is a great job from them.
Yeah, and we've seen Clix and Duke actually just waiting in the same building, Mega City, the entire time. And Epic Whale barely moved as well. They're just waiting there, waiting for the Storm to close in and then use all their loot later. Endelec's going down, Sun's going down as well as Tax. This is a crucial zone. You want to stay alive here because this is when all the placing points. Oh, Epic Whale getting lasered and going down.
Huge moments right there. Epic Whale just overstayed his welcome there, you could say, inside of Mega City. Some people realize where he was, and now Alex also has to clutch up as a solo running on fumes right now. Barely got anything left in the inventory as Clix now gets some great shots onto S-Dog. Unfortunately for him, he can't quite close out that elimination. Clix with 0 right now, but Jukes, of course, we saw him picking up 2 earlier on, so they're looking pretty good, and they're just about inside of the zone. And these Mega City zones, they're chaotic, and we're seeing the chaos go down. It's Cal Gamer jumping straight into the box. NM7, his teammate, nowhere to be seen. He has to try and clutch up here, but no, he's a sitting duck out in the open.
Yeah, they gotta be careful. Look at that cluster on the bottom right. So many people in the same area. Everybody on the south side of zone. And there's Dark just chilling on the building, just waiting for zone. There's 6 people right now on one building. Gentle also just chilling behind the bush. He doesn't look like he has too much loot. Only 6 shotgun shells.
We've seen it so often today. Duos turning into trios. Now it's duos turning into solos. They're playing almost separate from each other. Gentle and Dark, they're having to say, you play your life, you play yourself. I'm going to sort myself out, and we'll see if it works. Pars and Baka all the way up on the height, as well as Bully and Muzz getting their way into this end game as well. So Pink and Nasser very much out in the middle of the open right now. We've seen this strategy work when it comes to playing the zone in the center, but we've also seen it turn into disaster as Thomas HD and Malabuka make their way in as well. Hopefully unscathed for them, but unfortunately for Cammy and Japko, their car is very much not unscathed as they use that beautiful shockwave rotation, and that's what we like to see. Thomas HD getting a huge elimination onto Bully, and now they claim the prime position on the entire map, Eman.
Yeah, no, they're in a really good spot on this hill. It looks like Pink and NS actually have the best spot. They're all the way up there, and they just have overlook on every single player. So anybody that tries to sneak up on them, he actually knocked himself off of the mountain, and Pink is solo. He has to hold off until NS comes back up. Malibuka thinking about taking them out of the high ground, and he's watching them.
What a play! Thomas HD shockwaves up, uses another one to shockwave them out, and now says, I am the king of the hill. You're not the king, I am the king. And he says, see you later. Yeah. And just completely beams them off of the mountain. He says, you are banned from the mountain.
Yeah, it looks like that cannon from NS actually knocked him off, and they noticed it. So they're like, all right, he's just solo up there. Let's just go up there. Let's take the high ground. Let's take the risk, because when you risk it and it works out for you, that's usually when you end up winning the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas HD and Malibuka, if the zone goes towards them, it looks like it's a guarantee win.
Just shows how quickly things can turn from peachy to rotten tomatoes for Anis and Pink. Yeah. As Thomas HD now claims the prime position. This is a duo we talked about all weekend. Haven't quite performed to their best, but unfortunately they're going to be tested to the very end of the day. As of course this is a really difficult pole for them, as Malibuka does take out Pink in the feed right there. We see him picking up that finish as well. Hasn't got anything in the name of rotation. Unfortunately, that is his demise. Thomas HD with the ice cream still playing the Storm as well, trying to claim as many of those placement points as possible. Huge moments for Thomas HD, but of course Dubs and Xcept in this end game as well. 6 eliminations for them. Wow,
yeah, it's 7 eliminations now. Wow. It looks like this is their game to make a comeback, and it's never over, because tomorrow there's a 50% increase from day 1. So 18 eliminations points for tomorrow. So every elimination is 18 points, but today it's still only 15.
Look at this, from Cammy and Japko. They're actually going inside of the vault. They know no one's going to be inside there. This was just a place that was inside of the Storm just now, but they have to be very, very careful. What are they going to find in there? Because there's only one way in, and there's only one way out. So they have to be careful to not get trapped. For Hero right now, he's out in the car.
Yeah, as I was talking about earlier, Hero is just relaxing in the back of a car, and nobody's looking at him. He's acting like he's not there, and it's actually working out for him.
Beautiful stuff. Japko getting inside of the area of Trippin, and he seeks him out. It's a game of hide and seek, and Japko has won as Trippin says hello to the lobby. As Cammy, of course, now has to make his rotation in. I like this play from them, just playing a little bit more underneath. They're not trying to claim power positions because they know that they just need a good game to keep them on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, look at Mikeson on high ground. He actually has the best position right now, but he has to be careful because Storm is moving, and he has to move ahead if he wants to keep high ground.
I like this from Mixon. He might actually get Shockwave onto that helipad, very much Shio Wager-esque with the helipad. As we see him all the way up on top. Can he do that? I think he's going to make his way in, as Age is now trying to clutch up as a solo. 1 elimination for him, 3 total for the team, as now Cammy and Nikov and Hero are all inside of the same vehicle. This is 3 different teams, 3 individuals all taking a taxi ride together.
Yeah, I don't think he noticed he was in the backseat just relaxing. And when it's endgame, it's hectic. Mike's still chilling on high ground. He's marking the next zone as well. He's planning.
I like this from Mixon, though. He's looking to try and use this shockwave to his advantage. Is he going to use those zip lines? Of course, maybe not, but Anaz literally on 1 HP, having to traverse his way through. His Hero now inside of the box, having to get his way out, of course, as well. This is huge moments for him. He's taking on Dukes and Klitsch as a solo. Can Klitsch clutch up? It could happen, but now we hop over to Anaz, who is trying to sneak through the gap, but it's not quite happening, as Mixon, he's the king of the hill right now.
Yeah, it looks like it. NS taking down Pars as well. It's a 2v1. Klix and Duke versus Mikeson. And the 2v1. Klix and Duke take the win.
Beautiful stuff. Klix and Duke, they've had it difficult all weekend, and finally they've managed to come out with a victory royale, which is so good for them. I'm sure they'll be very happy with it, and I'm sure there are plenty of Klix fans out there that are equally as hyped.
Yeah, no, we saw them earlier in Mega City just chilling there, and they were aggressive, and they took a spot, and they just were there the entire time. But Mixon actually had the high ground, so it wasn't sure that they were going to win, because when you have the high ground, you have the advantage to peak. But they ended up clutching up and taking the win for the day.